Hello everyone, welcome on Canada Day to Scott's Exclusives. I'm Scott, and these are exclusive. And yeah, so there's a time for silliness, and then there's right now. I'd be remiss not to say anything about what's going on in Canada right now. If you don't want to hear it, you can skip ahead, but you really shouldn't. So obviously, I'm a white guy in Canada, and Canada Day has even been looked at to be canceled this year because of what's going on. And for those who have not been paying attention, yes, there is the residential schools system stuff going on here in Canada. It is absolutely disgusting. It is abhorrent. It is an attempted genocide, in some ways very successful, to kill the people and culture of the First Nations people, the Indigenous peoples of Canada, implemented by the British originally, then upheld by the Canadian government 100-some years ago, and the Catholic Church. Now, that doesn't mean the church is bad. The government is bad because of this. Did they do a very bad thing? You better believe it, yes. And there needs to be apologies. It's 10 years since the original apology by Stephen Harper, our former Prime Minister. The church has refused to apologize. It's disgusting. And I would be remiss to not say something about it by doing a Canada-themed video here with an audience that needs to hear about it, that might not even know what's going on. I myself did not even know about this stuff until that apology thing 10 years ago, and I didn't even really comprehend what it was. We never learned anything about this in schools. We never learned anything about this whatsoever, here in Ontario anyway, in my schooling. And this stuff happened from like the 1880s and 90s up through the 70s and 80s and 90s in my lifetime. Like there's the radio has been filled with stuff people talking about being survivors. That's what this is. So for those that want to watch me eat some funny stuff, you're going to get that. You're going to see that. But I'd be remiss not to mention that. And it's very similar to someone who is in a position of any kind of audience or outreach to say anything and yet ignore the fact of what's been happening in America for the past, God, not just the past year, but you know what I mean with Black Lives Matter and this kind of stuff. It needs to be addressed. So yes, there's been 2 gravesite discoveries of 215 kids in BC and then 751 in Saskatchewan. And there's going to be more. When they said these were the first, I was like, what do you mean, there wasn't any before that? The estimated 6,000 kids died from this. Like, kids were snatched away just because they were First Nations, to literally breed out the native from them, to kill their way of life, their culture, all of that. As a conquering nation would. There's no excuses, there's reasons, and they're bad. But history is written by the winners, and well, the winners didn't get to write the whole story, because if they got their way, this never would have been brought to the light of day. And that's why I hear all this stuff from last year about that's not what America is. No, that is what America is, but it's not what it strives to be. The same thing here. I'm not going to say this isn't what Canada is, because unfortunately this is what Canada is. But it's not what it strives to be or desires to be. And unfortunately, by those who used to do this crap, that is what it desired to be. It looked at others as lower races, at ridiculous, abhorrent thoughts that just make no sense to, hopefully, this audience of like-minded people that look at that and go, oh my God, how many? How long was this a thing? That's wrong. And again, I'd be remiss not to say something, and I thank Matt for the platform to do so well beyond. Now, the other platforms that I have Top of the Card Pod. It's the wrestling podcast with 5 friends. Those same friends work with me on Frontline Prediction League, Frontline League. Those are both on Twitter. You can find Frontline on Discord. We've got all sorts of stuff in there with prediction leagues, with results and wrestling predictions and stuff like that. And Top of the Card does normal wrestling stuff. You can find it where all your podcasts are found, Spotify, etc., etc. We're still working on the Apple stuff, and we'll get it on YouTube eventually too. But those are where you can also hear my stuff and my input. I'm the Canadian of the group, so I'm the one saying this stuff here for this Canada Day stuff. So now, with that out of the way, not that it ever will be out of the way, this is a very ongoing thing. It's an ongoing wound that needs to be opened and needs to be talked about, to be addressed and acknowledged and really move on from. because it's not like this is in the past and we need to look past it. No, it's in the past and it happened, we need to address it. So, now let's eat some silly stuff. There's no segue for how to do this, but I at least hope this is something interesting, and if you did stick through this, thank you very much for listening to that. There are multiple charities going on right now in Canada to help these people, because there's people my age that went through this, that were taken away, and remember their friend being taken away and never seeing them again. It's important. So let's transition into eating some weird Cheetos. Yeah, these are Cheetos leaves, ketchup flavor. So you've probably been aware in Canada, ketchup flavor is a thing. And I tried to do some research into why. It just sells good here. And it never sold well in the States. So it's one of those situations where there's no reason aside from we apparently bought this more often than Americans did. For whatever reason, there's no explanation, but it does go back historically to Lay's trying different types of chips that are fruit-based. It was tomato flavor. There were apparently grape flavor and other ones like that, and obviously they tweaked tomato into ketchup, and there we go. Now, the interesting thing about this is it says, Cheetos, dangerously Canadian. Timing. Celebrate summer with unique maple leaf shapes covered in Canada's iconic ketchup flavor. Warning, mischievous flavor. For the first time ever, Cheetos Leaf Snacks have ditched their classic Cheetos cheesy flavor. So what the hell are leaves? So if you've seen these Cheetos Paws, that's where this stuff kind of comes from. And yeah, this is also limited time only, and I'm not quite sure why, because I thought I've seen these all the time. In Canada, we had the Bag of Bones. I believe you have them in the States as well. Those skeleton shapes. Again, not great theming, but they were white cheddar. Then they did snowflakes, white cheddar. And now they just do white cheddar puffs. I've also seen Paws, and these are just maybe real cheese. They're limited time, and it doesn't say why. Get your paws on something dangerously cheesy. They're just normal. But we have had the leaves flavor before, but I've never seen flavored Cheetos beyond, obviously, what, the Flamin' Hot. So these are going to be weird. And I'm not making this up. It does say for the first time ever. So, ketchup flavored Cheetos. Leaves, no less. So they're red. And yeah, that's a leaf. As you can see, the frame of reference is there. And yeah. So it's not like it's cheese and ketchup, like I said. It's just ketchup. The lack of cheese makes them lighter. Here's a good leaf. I like that a lot more than I thought I would. Ketchup flavored chips are weird. I'll agree with you Americans on that. But these and the jalapeno and the ketchup double crunch chips, I find really good. That one didn't have much to it. I'll give these a 4. Solid 4. Of course, as with most ketchup stuff, they do get your fingers a bit red. But I have bonuses for you now. See, I'm not going to eat those other ones. They're obviously what they are. But in Canada, we're doing some weird flavor stuff. I know there's been like Doritos flavored Lay's and stuff. Hey, you know about all dressed? Yeah, all dressed Ruffles. We put them on normal chips. That's a limited. That's a fancy thing. That's lame, right? All dressed is really kind of all the flavors. It's a mix of like a barbecue and salt and vinegar, most people find. I've had it all the time. It's okay, but it's a bit overpowering. Here it's on weak chips that are flat and don't really support it well. They're not that great. I'd give them a 2. I'll eat the whole bag, but it's a 2. I'm not even gonna try them. But what I will try are these. Sweet Chili Heat. It's a Doritos flavor, inspired by. I want the Cool Ranch, instead we have this. I don't like this flavor. Let's see how they work on normal flat Lay's. The problem with these are Lay's chips are lame. Like, they're good, but they're so weak. They're so flat. I don't understand them. Like, this flavor works on Doritos, obviously. Why is it a big one? Oh. No. What's the point of that? It tastes just like the all-dressed ones. There's no heat. There's a potency to this more so. There's no heat to it whatsoever. But comparatively, these are almost interchangeable. There's a bit more potency to this. It's a stronger flavor, but it tastes like the same flavor. That's really lame. You know what's not lame? These. White cheddar. Remember I mentioned those? White cheddar is a smart food popcorn flavor. They put them on these. They're amazing. I've eaten probably 3 or 4 of the big bags of these. 2. 3 or 4 of the big bags of these. These get a 5. Seal of approval. They're fantastic. I can't recommend them enough. But I'm gonna wash that down. We're still going. We have limited time only. These are only available in Max or Circle K now up here. This is Mountain Dew Baja Flash. We just got Baja Blast here a year or so ago. We don't even have a Taco Bell here in Thunder Bay anymore, but it's in Canada. But I've never gotten to try Baja Blast until the cans came here. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it a fair bit. This sucks. I've had this. I don't like it. The pineapple makes it almost taste thick. I don't like it. It's not refreshing in any way. It's one of the thicker sodas I've ever had, and I've never thought of a soda. Never thought of a soda as thick until I had this one. I never, ever, and that's a problem. So this is disgusting. But I have a hope, because I got a case of that, and it made me sad because I have a whole bunch of those. But they also had this, and it's Baja Punch. Now it's fruit punch, which normally is kind of hit or miss. I'm hoping this one's good, especially since it has a shark on it. So let's try this one and wash all this down and see how this goes to round out our Canadian Odyssey here on Reckless Eating on Scott's Eh-Sclusives. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to the obviously more important stuff than me eating silly stuff. It smells like fruit punch. Is there a carbonated fruit punch soda? I'm not sure if there's a carbonated Hawaiian punch maybe, but let's see. It's kind of lame too. There's something about the Baja, I think, is what's doing it, because the Baja is like, eh. And that with the pineapple is no-go. With this, the fruit punch is almost too weak. It's not able to stand up, so it just has what I find for like a Red Bull has like a medicinal taste. This has a Mountain Dew version of that. I'll still drink it. It's better than the other one, the Flash. I now have all these flavors together with ketchup, all dressed, sweet chili heat, and fruit punch, Mountain Dew. It's not great, but I'm gonna segue that in a second after one more sip. This gets a 1. This gets a 2. These aren't great. They're only available at Max, limited time only. You probably have them in the States. I don't know, but you can't buy them anywhere else up here. But all those flavors, all those goofiness, that's Canada. That's what we're trying to be. I've always heard in school, it's the melting pot, even though obviously there was a lot of lies in that involved in what we were doing to the people who were here before us. But the idea that I grew up with and know is that we can be better than that. And I've seen that with how the Americans, you've come together, the world's come together in many ways. And the joke was always about, you know, there's no racism in Canada. Yes, there is. And the same thing, we've known it, we need to address it, we need to eliminate it, it needs to go away. The racism, that is. It has to stop. Zero tolerance. And I'll tell you right now, anybody who comes on to whatever different avenues of what I have with Top of the Card, GuiltyPleasureCinema.com is my own personal stuff as well as the stuff with Frontline League, and obviously with this here, there's no room for you on these if you are racist, if you are on these different things. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to be better people because we're all people and we can be better at it, and I'm actively wanting to do so. I thank you all for listening to hear me eat some weird stuff and get the melting pot of flavors in a weird segue I made up on the spot. And yeah, thanks again for all of that. Thanks for watching, thanks for that, and just listen. Listen to what's going on right now, listen to the world. Don't deny it, that's the worst possible thing. It has happened, it has thankfully stopped, and the wounds are just being found and discovered. Let's make this better. Let's make this better for everyone. in the States, in Canada, around the world. We're all people. Let's be people. Thanks again for watching. See you tomorrow.
Reckless eating! Reckless eating!